Hey everybody, it is time for the 8 o'clock update. You can see it's still a Cat 3, but man is it getting close to Cat 4. 125 mile per hour now. It went up by 10 miles per hour. It only has to grow up 4 mile per hour and it'll be a Cat 4. We'll look at the Sapper-Simpson. Take that back. It's 5 more mile per hour. It'll be a Cat 4. And it won't take it long to do that. Hey Rick, Doc, Patty. Got my son sitting here with me. Got S Grade WX is, by the way, that's my son. He's going to be staying and help me out over the weekend. So let's go back to live radar. Yes, Terry. It's a monster. It's a freaking beast. Also, notice I added on the evacuation zones a new website. That's for South Carolina. I got the one for North Carolina, but it's kind of a really long. If anybody would like the link, let me know and I'll copy and paste them in the chat. Hey, Skywarn. Oh, yeah, Richard. That's right. Yeah, let's get rid of this text line. And usually on the intermediate, they don't change the cone, but they slightly change the cone a little bit. I don't remember on the last broadcast that it went quite that far south. Yeah, and I'm going to show you something a little bit in a little bit that I just found out. Thank you for hosting. I appreciate that. Let's let me bring this down from monitor 3. And yeah, it's got a whale of an eye. Okay, Rippy over on YouTube. National parks in Florida, it's official. They are closed. Also, I seen earlier the airport at Daytona is going to be closing down Sunday night. Next update, by the way, is 11 o'clock. Richard? Because I know you're going to ask me that later. My next update will be at 11 o'clock tonight, Easter time. So, I can't show you visible satellite now. You know, the sun's gone down enough that I can't show it to you. But what I want to show you, and this is really cool. Let's see if I can do it. Let it load up all the frames. This is water vapor. What's that eye? See how dark it gets? That's dry air. That's how dry it is there in the center of it. Ain't that cool? And there's your infrared. Now, if we had visible satellite, this eye is so well formed, we'd be able to see all the way down to the ocean. Southern Nader or NATO Spotter Net. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Becky. Look how those strong storms are swirling around the center. Ain't that cool? I'll zoom out just a little bit. This thing, I would lay money on this. This thing will make Cat 4 before the sun rises. I just really believe that. Now, remember earlier, this thing was oblong at an angle. Now it's oblong east and west. That's one reason, is because this low down here is getting out of its way and really not influencing it a whole lot. Hey, Bev. Now, if you notice on some of these outer bands, they're already reaching out here to the Bahama Islands. And I was watching the webcam at Nassau, the port there in Nassau, and the very last ship finally went away. Let me bring it up here. That's Port Nassau webcam. It's getting dark now, but it's still really calm. You know, the winds haven't got there yet. But there's been some storms in the area, all from the outer bands. But the last cruise ship have left. Yeah, this webcam may not be there tomorrow. Yeah, that is really calm. It's really pretty looking. You should have seen it at sundown. That last ship was pulling out of the port and going out to sea right as the sun was setting. The sky was all orange, and you could see the storm towers in the background. And it was a beautiful picture. I didn't get a picture that had the ship in it, but let me bring up the screenshot that I took. It was just gorgeous. That was right after the ship went out of view. Ain't that pretty? So anyway, for the people just joining, we're still a Cat 3. The winds have gone up from 115 to 125. I was impressed with that, but that pressure drop, it was 970. Now it's down to 950. The speed has picked up 1 mile per hour, 10 miles per hour, but that pressure, a 20 millibar drop in 3 hours. That's amazing. That's just how much stronger this thing is really getting. So let's go back to the cone. Again, like I was saying last broadcast, my main concern of the cone is about right there. This up here is too much uncertainty at this point. The wind field has grown. It's over 100 miles wide from the center. The hurricane force winds are still mainly around that eye. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I've had so much going on this past hour. I think it's somewhere around 50 miles. And you can see the red lines. Those are hurricane warnings for those islands there. Yeah, no flights in and out of Orlando. Now, I was told it was Monday at 2 a.m. for Orlando, unless they changed it. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Now, we do have a recon going on. There's only one out there right now, and he's crisscrossing through the storm. This is a low-level flight, so he's getting right in there in the worst of it and finding the pressure and all the other information around the center and going through the center. Yeah, they won't be blasting dance music for very long there in the ports in the Bahamas. They'll be needing to take shelter. It's still about 400 miles away, but still the tropical storm force winds, are reaching way out there. So now, one site that I will start talking about more and more is this webpage. It's called Now Coast. I'll post a link here in the chat. With this website, you can get all kinds of fantastic news of what's going on with the coast and everything. You can do all kinds of things like river forecasts, ecological forecasts, weather forecast guidance. As you can see here, I've already turned on what was that? I got to scroll up here. All the beach and surf areas. Whenever there's a storm near the coast, I really start looking at this because it gives me a lot of information of what's going on the coast. How many people do we have in Florida that's in the chat? Please chime in. If you live in North Dakota or North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, or Florida, please let me know in the chat. Georgia? Okay. To find out information for Georgia, I'll give you the website. That ready.ga.gov. You can also find out evacuation zone. Tallahassee, Florida. I see some southern Georgia. Okay, for Florida, thanks for the follow. I'll give you the link in the chat. This is where you can get evacuation zone information for Florida. We got anybody in South Carolina? Okay, I'll go ahead and post it anyway. The next one I'll post is Emergency Management Division for South Carolina. There's the link. Now this next one is kind of long, but you'll be able to click on it and it'll take you there. This next one is North Carolina. Now, one information that I got a little while ago, the Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia, they're going to be opening up that for evacuees. They did that last year, I believe, and even the year before, I do believe. Atlanta Speedway is going to open up for evacuees. And that worked out really good. Yeah, if you got a motorhome, need to evacuate, and you can get there, it's a great place to go. Thanks, Becky. We don't have any other Chaser streaming just yet, but that link that Becky posted, thanks, Molly, that gives you a list of all of our main storm chasers, and that will tell you their Twitch link. Yeah, I talked with Jen earlier. It sounded like she was driving. I don't think she's got her beacon on because it's still showing at home, but I know she already left. Nathan, 3 hours ago, I talked to him. He was in the car on his way to the airport. Yes, there is a disturbance. It now has 40% chance in the next 5 days. It's just coming off the coast of Africa. Now let me zoom in on this again. Yeah, my main concern is this part of the cone. It's going to have the most confidence, and then as it gets closer, this cone's going to change. So is the forecast. Hey, thanks for that info. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of linemen from a bunch of different states that will be going down there to help out with the electric companies down there. Party time. Oh, really, Becky? I thought I heard her driving. When I talked to her, I thought she was already gone. She better get down there. Yeah, there'll be all kinds of electric companies sending convoys of trucks down there. They did that last year with Hurricane Michael. Oh, okay, Beck. Take a look at the models. Sure they haven't changed since my last broadcast. Here you can see down in the corner, you can see Dorian. Change this to forecast loop. And I'll just go ahead and play the loop. Now this will be changing later on. So as you watch this run, here it restarts again. Looks like the GFS does have it making landfall right there on the east side, but then it shortly hey, thanks for the bits, I appreciate that. Then it starts following the coastline. Go to that Florida disaster link It's floridadisaster.org. Go to that link and it'll give you all of the evacuation zones. It's really nice. Now let's go ahead and look at the euro. And this latest euro has me a little confused. Look at her. It never makes landfall. So if the euro's right, it never makes landfall. But that's only one of the ensembles. It's like the main. Let me go back to the cone and zoom in on it here. So the euro has got it making a turn. The reason why is now, well, I got to zoom out of this. That high ridge, high pressure ridge that I've been talking about, it's expected to be a little weaker now. So it's going to be out in here, but the area of the whole ridge, if I could draw it here, it's sort of big here, then it gets kind of small and gets big over here. So it's really weak right in that center area. So this is what the euro's picking up, and that would allow for it to turn such a direction. Sorry, Tomcat. Some people tell me they can't hear me. Sorry it hurt your ears. Turn the volume down. But some of the Euro ensembles has it coming over here. So because of this weak ridge, which the high would be out here, it'll, start to push it around the high, since that's going to be weak right there in the center area. So another thing too is that ridge is going to go east while the high pressure. Let me zoom back in. So let's say that high, well, it's not going to let me do that while I'm zoomed in. Say that high sets up out here. Now there again, clockwise motion on a high pressure system. But what they're thinking is going to happen is the high is going to go east or southeast. It does that. That allows Dorian to turn north. So that's what we got to really keep an eye on. And that's one reason why I was talking about the main area that concerns me is up to this point. Because this could be when it makes that sharp right turn. Rutrow, we got a Cat 4, people. It just went up. It's 130 mile per hour winds in it now. So let me change my ticker. They came out with a 8:30 update, which was kind of weird. Yeah, Nathan canceled, but then his boss told him, get down there, more or less. Who were a Cat 4 now. Yeah, it's still 950 millibars. Still west-northwest at 10. Okay, let me save my ticker here so it updates at the bottom of your screen. And now I need to update this. Hang on a sec. Usually it's, once there's watches and warnings, it's every 3 hours. I've never really seen them do an 8:30. I've never seen that. So like I was showing you a little bit ago, Hurricane Hunter was out there flying through it. So I guess they figured, it jumping to a Cat 4 was better to go ahead and change the advisory. I wish somebody would have bet me, because I said before daybreak it would go Cat 4. There you go. Well, that's what they're projecting is for it to get up there. Mm. So anyway, let's go back to the cone. See if they've updated the cone. Got to refresh the page. No, Patty, there's nothing going to stop this unless it makes landfall in Florida. Those islands are not very tall. If you ever uh, seen pictures down there, there's not really any mountains, and they're so small. And this thing's so large, it's not going to bother to bend. It's going to go right over it and say, "Screw you." Okay, they didn't change the cone any. They just changed the wind speed. And like I say, the reason why is because uh, this aircraft is out there flying through it. Yeah, Puerto Rico had 4,000 foot mountain, 4,330 feet, something like that, or 390. So Puerto Rico would have really undercut it and really made it a lot weaker. Now it would have survived, but it would have taken longer for it to build up to where it is now. Now, if it would have went over Dominican Republic like they were expecting, which, okay, this is Dominican Republic here, and if it would have went through there, there's a mountain there that's over 10,000 feet. This is Puerto Rico over here, and their mountain range kind of goes from east to west, and right there near the center, or maybe on the east side of center, it was over 4,000 feet. But if it would have went over the DR here, Dominican Republic, that possibly could have really hurt it, maybe even killed it. But that upper level low that I've been talking about for days, it pushed it east and made it go over the Virgin Islands. Okay, so we've looked at the latest models. It's too early for NAM Nest. Later, I'll start looking at it as well and see what it says. Any questions so far? This is only an intermediate update, so for them to slightly make a change to the cone kind of surprised me, because usually only the major updates, which is every other one, every 6 hours, is the ones that uh, lost my train of thought. Every 6 hours is usually when they update the cone. Any reports from Virgin Islands? Not a whole lot. Like I was saying the other night, a friend of mine had to stay on the boat that she works on. She's a chef on a charter boat, and they couldn't get it out of the water onto land in time. Yeah, I can check out the HW. But I tell you what, I really don't go too much by that. I got to switch websites. Now, what I can do is show you some of the models that is included on here on GR Earth. Those are still having it at a Cat 4 and pretty much going in the same place. I'm not seeing the normal extra models on this, so they all must be pretty much agreeing. But let's go ahead and switch websites, or I'll just add a new one. Let's go here to Tropical Tidbits, forecast models. Let's see, where's it at? HWRF. Now they got a couple different ones. Let's look at the Dorian. Nope, that's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. Here we go. Let me run play on this so it can load up all of them. There's a whole bunch of data that it's got to download. We mean 5 miles per hour from Cat 4. It is now a Cat 4. 130 mile per hour winds. Yeah, like I say, they got recon aircraft that's out there right now that's going through it, and apparently they decided to do an 8:30 update to the 8 o'clock update. Yeah, it's a Cat 4 that just came out 8 minutes ago. 130 mile per hour winds. It's still moving west northwest at 10 miles per hour, and the pressure is still at 950. Okay, so models all loaded up. This is the HWRF-P. And it's making landfall. It's basically looking almost identical to the GFS. Yeah, Nathan's on his way. Last I talked to him, he was driving to the airport. His boss said, go ahead. You don't have to be back until Thursday. Yes, he's flying in. It's a long drive from Kearney, Nebraska to Florida. He's not sure what he's going to do for a few days. Let's go back to the cone. Because if it takes this path where the black line is, they have it making landfall on Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's if it takes that path. But like I always tell you, this cone is where the center might go. So anywhere in this cone, it can go. Now the tropical storm force winds is over 100 miles wide. And so if it skirts off the coast, people are still going to get nailed all up and down that east coast of Florida. I tell you what they're telling. Shelter like you were sheltering down for a tornado. Which, like I told you last night, when we get to that upper right hand quadrant, hey, thanks for the bits. There will almost definitely be quick spin up tornadoes, and they're usually in the outer bands. So the outer bands will come in there first, and it'll be almost like a bow echo is for severe storms, how they'll produce quick spin up tornadoes. Yeah, don't listen to CNN. They don't know nothing. My personal opinion, not the opinion of anybody else. CNN sucks. They do not keep up with the data. I mean, they're probably using data from yesterday, knowing them guys. Yeah, they're not a weather station. They have too much fake news all the time. They'll tell lies. Remember, you used to go to the grocery store, and there in the checkout aisle, they had the rack of girly magazines, and some of these fake news magazines. Well, CNN has turned into one. Also, let me look at something on my phone. I took an image from the Weather Channel that gives some good information. I didn't send it over to my computer, but don't tape windows. I've been telling you all that. It's a waste of time, waste of money. Shelter like you would for a tornado. Don't stay in a mobile home. That was very important. That was something I didn't even think of earlier today. And don't stay in an upper floor or high rise. As you go higher in a building, the winds get stronger. And some of our chasers found that out a couple years ago. So the higher you go up in a building, the stronger the winds are going to be. So you don't want to be up there. If you go to a parking garage, you go to the top, you'll find out right quick how much stronger the winds are than down at ground level. Thanks, Patty. We appreciate that here at Storm D Live, that we are considered the best coverage. Yeah, storm surge is going to get you at ground level. That's the reason why you need to evacuate to a place that's not going to get flooded. Get away from the coast. Most definitely. Aircraft is still out there flying around. There might be another one. NOAA 43. Looks like it might be getting ready. They're showing their beacons showing up there at their base outside of Tampa. And also, if you think you're in an unsafe building, get out of there. If you're going to cover your windows, do it with plywood. Flying objects, even at 40 mile an hour, will go through the plywood, but it will be a smaller hole than your whole window. I tell you what, I've watched some video of the hurricane hunters when they fly through there. You know, like the one that's out there now, doing low level flight. Gosh, man, it's amazing. Them guys has got guts. Just flat amazing. What are we doing at the port? Oh, I got to restart it. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm only seeing two people sitting at the deck. And the waiter. That looks like a pretty cool place to go. This is in the port there at Nassau in the Bahamas. Oh, yeah, I've got three more people. They won't be there tomorrow. Says never say never again. What it says on that sign. Hey, they're going to party while they can, which I don't blame them. I got a message from somebody. I haven't got a chance to answer them back, wanting to know if I'll be able to help them. They're not on the team. They won't be streaming, but they are going to be down there for Dorian. If you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm going to be so busy. I'm going to have several chasers down there that I'll be helping, and plus taking care of getting you all the information out. So if you're watching, I'm not going to say names, but if you're watching, I am so sorry that I won't be able to help you. Stay safe. Him and his wife have been watching my streams, so I'll have to see if I can answer him back a little bit later. But I hate that I can't do that, but I'm getting too old to handle 10 people at a time. Yeah, Patty, that's a good idea. Maybe he can kind of hook up with one of our chasers. No, it wasn't Carson. I forget what his name is. I think it was Danny or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to have a full plate. Oh, really? John Carson's on his way. Cool. Oh, copy that. Well, I tell you what, Nathan has got several hurricanes under his belt. So, and if I was down there, me personally, since I've never been around a hurricane, um, I would definitely hang out with Nathan, even if I didn't know him. Yeah, once this thing, gets real close to Florida, I'm going to be so busy just with my live stream. But you all get to watch me in my behind the scenes as I help everybody else out. There's been a few references to this one being like Harvey or Irma. Oh, thanks, Patty. Yeah, I tell you what, hey, you don't want to be around for Cat 4 or Cat 5 trying to chase it. Especially, I mean, it's really cool to get out on an island, a barrier island, and watch them as they come in. But then you got to be really careful because if they close the only road going to that island, you're stuck. And I've seen that happen. I have seen that happen. So, what else can I show you? Berry Island? Cheh, wished I owned an island. Talking about barrier islands. Does who stream? Did I miss something? You're talking about Nathan. Yeah, Nathan will have his stream up. So will Jennifer McMahon. Michael Koch should have his stream up. I would imagine Kyle Bauer will try. Yeah, if I'd owned an island, I'd invite you all to party. Looks like tropical storm force winds sometime Sunday night should be hitting Florida. Excuse me. Michael Koch is good too. Michael Koch is really good. So let's go back and look at this thing again. Okay, let's start to show some of the other what I call minor models, and it looks like several of them. Only one is showing a Cat 4 landfall, and three others has got it running up the coast. Michael Koch, he's part of our team. He is SVL. He's yeah, like Becky just said. I was just getting ready to say it. He's an extreme chaser. He is. Guy is awesome. So let me turn off these model tracks and let me pause it. Here's the northwestern Bahama Islands that this thing's headed for. And you can see this one outer band is reaching out there already. We're talking about Michael Koch. Yeah, like Sean was just looking at how that black or super dark red is swirling around that eye. That is awesome. The bolder and darker the colors is, uh, the higher the tops. Infrared looks at temperature. So the higher the tops, that higher altitude is always colder. So that's how I know when it's picking up cold tops that they're really tall. Now it's too early for me to look at radar um, and tell you exactly how tall they are. Later on, I'll go through some of the drops on data and I'll be able to find out as the different planes, fly at different altitudes. and drop their drop zones, I'll be able to find out the different altitudes of where the real strong stuff is. Watch. I want you to watch something here. Let me pause it. Watch this band right there as it's pushing away from it. Sort of like an outflow boundary. You sit there and watch satellite loops enough, you start seeing more and more things. Now notice, I'll pause it right there. You see these little wispy clouds that'll pop out away from it? There. That's outflow. And you see a whole bunch of them down here. That's outflow. And that line that I was talking about pushing away, that's all part of the outflow. Yeah, eyelashes. Some people call it that. Kind of like what it looks like. If you look at this long enough, it looks like an eyeball with a bunch of eyelashes, especially at the end of the loop. So, anybody got any questions? Yeah, eyelashes. Yeah. How you doing, Diddle? But I love this water vapor mode. There we go. Look at the eye. Yeah, I know that's Dale. I just like calling him Diddle. Look at the eye on this. Now this is water vapor. With water vapor, what you're looking at is the moisture in the air. Right there is none. So that's dry air right there in the eye. When it turns black, that's dry air. It's not as super dry as what you'll see the brown, but it's still dry air. Now notice there's no more dry air near this thing. So there's no dry air. Even if there was a little here on the southern end, there's storms to the south of it that's filling in that dry air. And this thing's so strong now that there's no dry air going to choke it off. And when I looked at wind shear earlier today, there's no wind shear. The only thing that's going to slow this thing down is when it gets over land in Florida or Georgia or wherever it decides to make landfall. Well, Julian asked, "Am I going to die?" Not if you take care of yourself. Do like I told you. You're told to evacuate in your area. Get the heck out of there. I will not steer you wrong. And as you all know, there's no hype on this channel. I give you the most up to date, accurate information, which will go back here to this screen. As you can see, for the new viewers, which I see I've got 75 on Twitch, 86 total counting YouTube. And as you can see there, this is information from the National Hurricane Center. Cat 4, 130 mile per hour wind, 950 millibars. That's 20 less millibars than it was at the last update. Moving west northwest at 10 miles per hour. Well, thank you, 1979. I appreciate that. I try to. The other night, I had somebody in the chat, and I can't remember who it was, wanted me to tell them where I think it's going to make, where is it going to hit? I said land. Because the way that forecast cone looks, it's going to hit land. 81 viewers. Wow. Thank you guys for watching. And that's the most accurate thing that I could tell that person. It's going to hit land. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And I ain't dying yet. Hey, thanks for the new follow. Thank you, thank you. What's that? Oh, did he? No, it's going to hit landfall somewhere. I'm sure of that. It may be South Carolina. It might be North Carolina. It might be Maryland, or even clear up to Maine. But it's going to do it. Thanks for the link, Becky. That is our team page on Twitch. And there you will find the links for all of our main chasers that have high quality streams. And it'll let you know if they're online. It's hard to tell, Terry. You know, if that high pressure ridge weakens like they were thinking, this thing will take a north turn in a heartbeat. Yeah, it dropped 20 millibars within 3 hours because they were out there on the update earlier, and it was 970. And then they went back out there, and the next update, it had dropped 20 millibars. And the winds really went up, because it was only 115 earlier. Now it's 130. The next update will be 11 p.m., roughly 2 hours from now. I will be live for the 11 o'clock update. Yeah, I kind of hope it turns too. But I tell you what, if it gets close to the coast with the tropical storm winds being that, far out from the center, even if the eye doesn't hit, which would give them the hurricane force winds, still those tropical storm force winds are just going to kill it. I mean, not kill it, but it's going to cause a lot of damage. You're going to call a Cat 5? I tell you what, if this thing slows down more, it's a possibility. Hey, thanks for the new follow. I won't take that off the board. There is a possibility that it could be a Cat 5. It could cross Florida, go into Gulf. Even one ensemble of the Euro had it crossing over, going into Gulf, and went clear to New Orleans. I don't think it will do that, but it's a possibility. It's hard to plan 100% Mother Nature. These things have a mind of their own. We do not have the technology yet. Hey, thank you for the new follow. Maybe someday we'll have the technology to accurately forecast long term, but we do a pretty doggone good job. Yep, they're going to do what they want to do. That thing's so strong. How'd you like to be on a cruise ship out there in that thing right now? That would be pure hell. Now, I hope later tonight, yeah, not without a bark bag. Exactly. Bark bag and safety belts. And I've seen video of a cruise ship that got caught up, not in a hurricane, but just a pretty strong storm. And several people got hurt. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mike. Yes, they are avoiding um, the last couple of days. Ones that were going towards the Virgin Islands uh, changed their route and went somewhere else. And earlier, when we was watching, this is the webcam at the port of Nassau there in the Bahamas, and the cam was actually showing 3 cruise ships sitting there. Well, they're all gone now. The last one loaded up about 2 hours ago, and I sat here and watched them taking the ropes loose there at the dock, and sure enough, it went cruising out to sea. So yeah, they're getting the heck out of there. Now I'll tell you something else. I haven't looked it up yet or heard yet. Your naval bases, they'll be sending all their ships out too, even the ones up the coast, like up there at Norfolk, where they have a naval base up there. They'll be sending all their ships out, getting them out to sea. Again, for new people joining me, this is the forecast cone, and I'll make it more of a contrast. Now, this is liable to change at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. Some of the models are showing this route, or where this black line is. Thanks for the new follow. This is great, guys. Thanks for joining us. For all you new people on YouTube or Twitch, this channel is all about getting accurate and up-to-date information out to the public, and to be able to explain things that you can understand. Some of these meteorologists, they talk real technical. Of course, they're trained, the way they're supposed to do it. But a lot of people just don't understand. And so what I try to do is break things down to where normal folks can understand a lot of things about the weather. And if you have any questions, please ask me. If it's weather related and related to this storm in particular, I'll be glad to answer them. Oh, where they watch the eye. I showed a video on YouTube earlier. Yeah, I've been getting notifications from Twitter. Am I using a hurricane tracker? Actually, I'm using a web page. It's the uh, it's NASA's Airborne Science Tracker, and I'll copy the link here and post it in the chat. The page that you're seeing right now, which that's up to the second update. There's the link. Hey Rick, Luna. And you can see where it's crisscrossing here. I wouldn't doubt it. They might send another one out a little bit later. What I know about this particular flight, it's doing a low altitude pass through the storm. Here, I'll blow it up for you. And that's constantly updating on that page. And I have a thing for Google Earth where I can actually look at the drop zones. Let me bring that up for you. Okay, mission 20. Okay, this is another flight that's not out there yet. So let's go to mission 21. This is the one that I was just looking at. That's crisscrossing through it. And these things here are the drop zones. Here we go. And when I click on that, this is the information that I get from their drop zone. So I can see exactly where they're at when they drop that, and this is the information that gets sent back. So with all the flights, it takes me some time to go through that. So all these little markers like that one right there, that's a drop zone. So I get to see the same thing, and that's in real time. As he flies through there and does one, as soon as they get the information and send it to NHC, I get to see it too. It's really cool to have real time. So, mission 20 is it's not telling me which plane that is. Apparently he's done one out there, and it looks like he's on his way back, and looks like he came out of southern Florida, the base down there. So I have all kinds of places and websites and all kinds of data coming in here. And I try to kind of put it all together and let you all know about it. I could get real technical, but I don't like doing that. Again, for all the new people watching, that link here on Twitch that Becky just posted, that's our team channel on Twitch. All of our favorite chasers are listed there. It'll let you know if they are live or not. and it gives you the link so you can go watch them. Now, when I get some chasers down there streaming, we'll do a multi-stream, and with multi-stream, you'll be able to watch the different chasers and me as well. And you can switch to their chat, my chat, either, any of them that's in the list. And we'll post that link in the chat once we get other chasers down there and get them streaming. So I'll be firing up probably a couple more monitors. Yeah, multi-stream, I like it the best. I like it the best. Multi-Twitch, people have issues with it. But I'll, once we, hey, thanks, Becky, for posting that over on YouTube. For you people on YouTube, that's the link to look at our Storm Chaser team. But as I get more people getting down there and they start their streams, and I'm going to have to fire up 2 more monitors probably here on the main PC. So I'll be using at least 8, maybe 9 monitors for Hurricane Dorian. I've got 2 tied up right now with the streaming PC over here. I use 10 monitors in all. I was using 11, but one died on me. I don't have a current picture, I don't think. Let me take a look here. I'm going to switch over here Earth because I don't want you looking at all my pictures on here. And I got to go with my backup drive. Oh, see if I can find that picture. Found the picture of my race car that I used to have. Where did I stick that? Interesting. I'm a looking. Hang tight. Ah. My hands are getting shaky. Too much caffeine. Doggone it, I don't see the picture. Nope. Did one of you all steal my picture? Oh, I bet I know where it's at. Yeah, I need to. Sean's over here telling me what to do. I need to reorganize my photos, he says. I've got stuff everywhere. I'm looking for my backup of the desktop. Oh, here we go. Ah, found it. There she blows. And that's not showing you all of them. I've got one that's mounted on the wall over to the left after camera out of the camera shot. That top right one is the one that died on me. I got to replace it. So that's 10 monitors in that shot, and that's the TV clear to the right. I can make that a monitor if I want to. It's 46-inch TV. But that's my setup, folks. And believe me, I need more monitors. I really do. That ain't enough. That is not enough. Well, I started out with one helping the storm chasers, and it's like, well, crap. I need another one. So then I got a second one. Then it was like, crap. Now I'm helping more than one chaser. So I need a third one, fourth one. It just kept growing. This is my NASA command center. I got my own little studio. Trying to catch up with the Weather Channel's production room. Yeah, I'm running both air conditioners right now, and my video card on the main PC is running 138 degrees. It gets pretty warm in here. And that's only one video card. It's got two of them in it. Oh, you ought to see the fans I got in my main. I got plenty of extra fans in it. And it's not far from the air conditioner, and it's still running 138 degrees. Yeah, Becky, you need both of those desktops and laptops when you're helping out. By the way, folks, for you new people that chimed in here, uh, that Beck 3813, that's Becky. She's one of our admins and moderators, and a great big help to me and the other chasers. What's going on at Port Nassau? Let's take a look. Nothing. People down there drinking. Shame on them. Yeah, Beck's the ban hammer. She'll ban you, man. You got to be careful about her. You don't act right in the chat. You're in trouble. It's a possibility. I just seen on TV. It's a possibility. Those islands there in Bahama could see over 2 foot of rain. And they're wanting to get drunk before the storm gets there. Tell you the truth, I don't blame them. If they're stuck there, you go right out a hurricane, might as well drink it up. That hurricane goes through there, that place there, it ain't gonna have no liquor left. It'll be all floating in the water. I wonder if they got emergency shutters that drop down all the way around that thing. I'll have to check out this webcam at the port of Nassau when that gets there, and see if they got emergency shutters that pull down. Yeah, them little tables there on the walkway. Change colors. That's pretty cool. That looks like a cool place to go have a beer. So anyway, folks, it's 9:26 my time. I'm going to take a break because, as you can hear, I'm starting to get hoarse again, and I don't want to lose my voice yet. So I'm going to rest my voice, spend some time with my son, and get ready for the next broadcast in an hour and a half. So thank you all for joining me. Thank for all the new followers and for anybody that's donated bits, subs, or nobody's done it directly, donation. But thank you all for all that. It really helps me out. And that's all I've got for you right now anyway. I'm going to rest my voice. Starting to bother me. So catch you in an hour and a half. Give or take a few minutes. As soon as I get the information, I'll go live. So thanks. See you in a bit.